How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we work together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and in this episode, we're going to talk about how to change your perspective so that you can see the good, find the positive energy in whatever situation that you're in, and use that to move forward with a positive mindset and experience the life that you desire. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. You can pick a word, be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, we're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that frequency. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that energy. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. Well, we're going to do another deep breath. This one is about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that we need to hear today to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the block, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So a lot of times during reflection, we feel what it is that we're going through, whether it was someone that was hurtful or a situation that was tough. And this perspective that I got from this, I think could be really freeing if you want to change the energy that you're in. But before we get started, here's a quick word from today's sponsor. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Navigating any of life's challenges can make you feel unsure, whether it's a career change, a new relationship, or becoming a parent. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and help you learn productive coping skills, which makes therapy the closest thing to a guided tour of the complex engine called you. I've used therapy personally for a few different things, and one of the best benefits is perspective. You know, in this podcast, I talk about positive perspective, really helping you see the entirety of a situation, and working with a therapist, they can provide that and then help you with coping skills and self-empowerment to deal with the trauma, the pain, the hurt, whatever it is that you're trying to overcome. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, available 100% online. Plus, it's really affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match you with a therapist, and if things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist at any time. You can learn more and save 10% off your first month by clicking the link below or going to betterhelp.com/mindset. That's BETTERHELP.com/mindset. So this might be a tough one to bring in, at least it was for me. When the thought first came in my mind, it was hard to really accept this. But now that I have, it has been really freeing, and I think it will be for you. So everything is internal. Nothing external actually matters if we decide to not allow it to affect us. You see, if you are only a certain way because the external circumstance is the same way, then you are not in control of your energy. You are just in a reflective state, meaning if everything is great around you and you are feeling good within, then you are a reflection of that external state. If everything is tough around you, difficult situations, and then you are feeling down or negative within, then you're still just a reflection of the external state. And so when we think about that, if somebody does something, so we'll use this as an example. If somebody does something that's mean or hurtful or brings you down, a lot of times we might have anger or a type of energy directed at that one person. Like we think, why is this person hurting me? Why is this person this way? We just think about that individual and what they are causing us. But it's really not that we're mad at them. we're actually angry at us. And think about this for a second. If you magically transported into another life, like you just went and you moved across the world, like just instantly, and you had this whole other life, this person still existed. They were the same exact person. They were doing whatever was hurtful. Let's say it's a coworker or a boss. They were just as problematic, just as toxic, just as mean to all the people that they're around, but you are not there. You're not experiencing any of that situation. They are still the same terrible person, but it's not affecting you. So when something is affecting us, it's not that we're mad at the thing. We're really feeling that energy because we're not able to change and be in a different situation. But if you could feel like you would away from that person while that person is happening, then what they're doing wouldn't bother you. So the real thing is reflecting on how powerful are you with your internal state. It also gives you focus. If you just clearly focus on managing your internal state, then the external world does not matter. Now here's where patience becomes very important. This is not something that I believe that is mastered easily. This is the journey. Our whole life, I believe, is this exact journey. It's going against tests, trials, hurt, pain, different energies that want to bring you down so that you can increase yours. And there is no finish line. The love, the highest frequency that there possibly is, that is a constantly expanding energy, in my opinion. It's constantly growing. It's constantly evolving. There's so many different angles that could possibly exist because we know that everything is an expansion. So if that's the case, our journey as energetic beings will always be one of growth. So if you're going through a difficult situation, think about, for you, what could you do to have inner peace during that situation? And I know there's extremes where like physical violence is happening or something that is extremely traumatic, and it's a situation that you can't just tune out or ignore or just be better and move on from. I understand that. But if your internal state is right, no matter what they're doing, you will be at peace. There are many examples that we could look at in history of people that have been enlightened, that have reached this state and have had horrific things happen to them, but they did not break. Their life, their experience, their energetic path that they went on was the example for us. And I hope none of us go through something that's so powerful, so intense like that. Hopefully the tests we have are just a toxic work environment, a tough person to deal with, things like that, that we can push through, that our lives aren't at risk. But ultimately, no matter what, any energy you feel towards somebody is truly an indicator of an energy that you have to correct within you. And probably saying you have to is not the way to say it. It's you get to uplift within you. I believe that you are an energetic being that existed before this, or at the very least is going to exist past this. I'm a big believer in energy cannot be destroyed. It will continue. How that looks, I don't know. But I believe the energy that you manage, that you're in control of for this experience, is here to be uplifted. So everything that's happening, when you feel that anger, when you feel that hurt, when you feel that pain, look within you. Don't blame yourself. You are not creating the situation as if it's your fault. You are the powerful hero that is experiencing this circumstance to learn how to find love, how to find growth, and to flow through it. That doesn't mean you can't get out of bad situations. If something is painful, if something is hurtful, you can make a change. That does not take away from the growth that you're having. But it's important to reflect and figure out, where was the love? Maybe it's a matter of going through a tough situation, eliminating that person from your life, whether it's moving, quitting jobs, whatever it is, and then practicing forgiveness. That doesn't mean that that person doesn't have consequences to their actions. All it means, you give forgiveness and you let the energy go. All the bad, all the lower energy things that you feel towards everything external has to do with something internal. Just think about it. If that person that's causing you this pain, maybe it was your parents when you were growing up, maybe it was a kid in school that was a bully, maybe it's someone at your work, maybe it's a family member, whoever it is, if they all of a sudden didn't exist, or they were that same person but they lived across the world, you never met them, but they were that same person doing it, it would not affect you. So it's how they are making you feel. And the feelings, all of that stuff are just indicators about your energy. If you were your highest self, think about this for a second, the version of you that could withstand immense pain, and still find love. The version of you that can forgive no matter what the situation is. The version of you that sees the good in all and brings that within you and then gives that to the world. The version of you that you are aspiring to be. If you're that version in this situation, would that person bring you down? Would you have hate towards that person? Would you have negative energy towards that person? And the ultimate version of you would not. That doesn't mean you're bad for having it now. It just means you are on the journey. I am on the same exact journey. We are in the same place. We are here on this earth. That means we are on the path to grow. And growth means bringing in love, expanding it, and giving it, especially to the people and places that have it the least. When you can put that forgiveness, when you can put that love energy in the areas that are hurting the most. Remember, hurt people hurt people. When you can do that genuinely, not just trying to do it because you're trying to appease the situation or you're trying to get out of a situation, but genuinely saying, I love this. I see the positive in this. I know that good will come from this experience and I'm going to be the example. When you genuinely live that way, you will not have the anger. You will not have the hurt. You will not have the pain because you'll free yourself from it. The external world, like this whole experience, your body, your mind, your heart, the trees, the earth, the globe, like all of it are not you. They are all here for you to have an experience. And the experience is meant to be tough. Because if we didn't have the tension, we couldn't have the growth. The tension, the hurt, the pain are all gifts. And it's not a gift like we would want. It's not the birthday type of gift where someone gives you a card full of money in it. It's not a pleasure because growth, unfortunately, does not happen in external pleasure. The pleasure that we truly need is inner peace. There's nothing more powerful. There are people that have the car that you're desiring, that car that you can't wait to achieve, and they are miserable. Nothing can satisfy them. There are people that have the job that you want, that have the relationship that you want, have the body that you want, that have the money that you want, and they are still hurting just as bad on the inside. The one thing that they would give it all for is internal peace. And it's here. You don't need money for it. You don't need looks for it. You don't need a certain job, a certain status. You don't need any of that. All you need to do is practice forgiveness, practice love, and give yourself time on this journey. It's all for you. If you feel like you've wasted your life up until this point, like you haven't done enough to raise your vibration, that's not true. Everything is for you. So even the past, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, even the past where you feel like you didn't do enough, or you didn't wake up, or you didn't change like you could have, like you start thinking, oh, I could be so much further along if I'd have started back then. That is still a gift because you get to heal from that exact thing that you wouldn't have got to if you'd have started sooner. Everything is a positive perspective when you decide to let it be that. So let's give ourselves permission to know that we're on the journey to be the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and got you thinking about your perspective, your situation, and how you can find the love and light in there and really charge yourself up so that you can enjoy and live the life that gives you the fulfillment. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link in the description. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. I appreciate all the follows there. And if you want to join the Positive Mindset Facebook community, that's one of the top links down there. Go ahead and come on in. This is still a new group, so there's not that many people in there. I'm making posts every day, and I hope the conversation's really going to start flowing, especially with the new year coming along. A lot of people are really going to be motivated to make those changes. Now is the best time. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.